What is going on, people? Welcome to Throwdown, episode 322. I'm your host, Tony Polanco, and tonight I am joined by Emilio Lopez.
Sup, people? How's it going?
Chris Seeley.
Hey, what's up, everyone?
Carlos Romero.
Yo.
And Brian Manjoma.
I can't believe that he actually was not in the Mortal Kombat trailer.
Oh, man, we're going to talk about that. We will talk about that. You know,
well, that's technically gaming news, too.
Yeah, that is. That's actually the main thing right now.
Whoa.
Yeah, with Mortal Kombat, because, you know, SEO and hits and all that shit, you know?
Yeah.
Kind of like, oh, man, yeah, I was going to talk some shit right now, but I'll leave it alone, man.
Shit. Before we move on, though, got to give a huge shout out to Logic Wins for subscribing.
Oh, shit. Logic Wins. What's going on, man? I didn't see. I just heard the money. I'm like, who's giving us money around here? All right. We're still setting up here. We hope everybody has been doing okay. Actually, I got to talk to my Texas crew here. Chris and Carlos, man. How are you guys dealing with this craziness? Like, the White Walkers just came to you, man. What is going on?
It turned off the power.
Yeah, so Chris, what's going on your end? Like, we were playing fucking Monster Hunter and you couldn't play no more because your power was gone. It's like, what is going on, man?
It's like I'm playing Iceborne at home.
Yeah, right? For real.
No, it was like that for real, man. It got so cold here. I think I sent you guys a screenshot like Sunday night. It hit like 8 degrees, and so Sunday night I lost power, and we didn't get it back till like for 3 hours on Monday. It came back on, and then and it was gone like all Tuesday night, whatever. So it got freezing in here. I think it was like 50 degrees at best in the house. And so I had no internet, and all my heat and stuff is electric, so I had nothing. And a lot of people on our side had it worse. Like pipes were bursting all over the place. There's when power goes out, like the stores were closed, so the local HEB was closed. Whataburger had like 90-minute lines for the drive-through. I don't know how they were serving food over there. I actually Wednesday I went over to Costco. I was like, oh, maybe I could get a couple things here. Literally, as I parked my car and walked there, I heard their emergency siren go on, and it went, oh, power went out. Nobody could enter the store. Wow. They shut the doors. I was like, holy shit! It was crazy, man. So I think today's the first day that we've had power like consistently. Like I looked from last night till today. So it hasn't been 24 hours, but the power's been on. Like I turned on the PS5 for the first time today since Sunday. I had been able to turn it on. Even when we had power, I was afraid to turn it on because everything would trip randomly. It would just shut off, So now I have it on, and I'm confident that we're okay now,
Yeah, and how's the living been holding up? Been all right?
Yeah. I mean, we've all been good. Lots of layers when there's no heat, and we made the best of it. But yeah, we're okay now.
Yeah, that shit is crazy. Carlos, what about you, man, down in El Paso?
Yo, man. So not as bad as Chris, nowhere near as bad, but it's just crazy. Like, I think it was Saturday. I went to go buy food. I was in shorts and a t-shirt. The next day, it's freaking snowing. It's like almost freezing temperatures, and I'm like, God damn, it's crazy. Like, and Chris got it like before I did. So I'm like, I'm expecting this thing. And then, we're lucky over here in El Paso because we're not part of the Texas power grid. So all of the power issues that people in most of Texas have been having and are still having, I haven't. I'm luckily not to have those right now. I've been having power. I played Monster Hunter with Tony the other day.
Yeah.
So yeah, luckily, knock on wood, it everything's keeps going smoothly, but man, I just feel for the people over there in Eastern Texas because shit, it's everywhere. It's like I have a lot of friends that are in those parts, and all of them, I have a friend that has to drive like an hour away to his sister's place so he can take a shower because his water's not running in his place, and and just a whole bunch of other stories, man. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's nuts. So yeah, everybody listening in Texas, hold it down, man. Hopefully this thing will be over soon because that's absolutely ridiculous, man. Yo, and by the way, we're only halfway through February. This year's been this insane already. You know?
So what do you say, 2020, the sequel, man?
Yeah, 2020 Part 2. That's what it is right now, you know? Oh, man. All right, with that said, oh, yeah, whoa, I got a couple shout-outs I got to give, man. Almost forgot. Whoa. All right, the first up, I got to give a big shout-out to the Crashing Game Night crew. I was on their podcast last night talking about a lot of things, the Justice League trailer being one of them, you know. Had a good time there. We were, you know, the show should be up on YouTube, I think, over the weekend, but it's up on Twitch right now. Just go to Crashing Game Night. It's one word, Crashing Game Night, and check that out. I believe those had an MP3 version, so go check that. Really good. And then just released today, even though we recorded this last week, on the latest episode of Gamertag Radio, I interviewed Danny about his interview with Reggie. So it's like an interview inception, you know? It was pretty crazy. And how that started was Danny, he just randomly hit me like, hey, you know, get on Discord. Let's talk about it. All right, so we're talking. And as usual, the conversation just went a certain way. And we're like, yo, this is good, man. We should fucking record this. And then I was like, yo, how about I just interview you about your interview? He's like, yeah, let's do that. So, because I interviewed him before the interview with Reggie Fils and me went live, but after I had seen it, because he sent me the link for it while it was still in private. I call it the advanced screening. He sent me the advanced screening of it, so I interviewed him about that. It was good stuff. So go check out your boy making appearances, man. It's good stuff. All right. Well, yeah. By the way, Adam's having some kid issues. The kids are being rambunctious, so he can't join us. And Brett is actually working, man, making some more money. So, you know.
Man, he's like,
yeah. So we may not have any arguments tonight. You know,
he'll show
we don't have
over in 2 seconds.
Yeah, we don't. Yeah, we don't have our angry Irish man here. You know, so that's how it is. And I'm not drunk to be angry enough. Yeah, so no craziness tonight. But we shall see. All right, first up, we got to talk about this, man. The big story of the day. Mortal Kombat! I want to play the song, by the way, but that's going to be copyright out the ass. So we can't do that. So, yeah, by the way, I want to say this about the Mortal Kombat movie. I had no idea this thing was even in production until, like, late last year. I was like, you know, I saw these stills. I'm like, damn, that looks like that's some good ass cosplay. What the hell is going? That's what I thought it was, right? Because it was just stills, and it's like, oh, it's Warner Brothers has a new Mortal Kombat movie. I was like, wait, what? Like, is it like a made for streaming bullshit? They're like, no, it's supposed to. You know, it's not gonna be in theaters, obviously, but it's like it's an actual movie. I'm like, okay. And I saw the screenshots. I was like, this looks cool, but obviously you got to be wary, you know. The first Mortal Kombat movie was actually pretty good. Second, Annihilation was trash. But for the most part, video game movies have been bullshit, right? Anyway, trailer comes out today. I was blown away, man. There's some real-ass Mortal Kombat. And it's going to be rated R, too. You know, the special effects look good. The costumes look cool. No whitewashing if you're worried about that. Even though Raiden, he was always a white guy. The actor was a white guy in the original game, you know. What's the guy's name? I was going to say Dan Panosian, but that's a comic book guy. But
the comic book guy.
No, I'm talking about the actor that played him in the game.
Oh, that was what's his face?
The same guy who was Johnny Cage. No, Johnny Cage was Sub-Zero and Scorpion as well. But I forgot who the guy who. But anyway, that aside, the movie looks fucking cool, and yeah, like I'm hoping that's gonna be the movie that's like finally gonna give us good video game movies, because lately we've had a little bit of luck. I'm gonna say a little bit. I haven't seen it myself, but I heard the Sonic movie was actually decent, and I will say up until the third act where it all fell apart, and I'm not a fan of the franchise, by the way, and I'm saying this as a person who's not a fan. Up until the third act, the Pokemon movie is not bad. So
Detective Pikachu.
Yeah, Detective Pikachu. So I'm like, we may be starting to see a shift here. Like, you know how like actually it's over 20 years ago now, where we finally had the comic book renaissance era, and then we, you know, which is still going actually. So maybe we'll get that for game, because I know they're making a Borderlands movie with a bunch of big actors. They got the Uncharted movie with a bunch of big actors. So maybe Hollywood's going to take these things seriously. We'll see. But yeah, what'd you guys think of the trailer for Mortal Kombat? Manny, I'll go to you first.
I don't know. It was interesting, but I mean, it suffers from normal trailer bullshit. You know, like it's like the same old sort of music stings and you know, yeah. We have, you know, there's something going on. We need to go get together and do something. These guys are fighting. Yeah, you know, I feel like trailers don't really do an effective job of selling, at least me, on anything. I remember seeing a trailer for something else earlier. I'm like, this trailer makes me not want to see the movie at all. So, I mean, I'll just wait till there's more to see it. But, you know, there is some interesting stuff, you know, like, you know, you see people, you know, like the costumes look cool and, you know, some of the actors they chose. Though, the one thing about all this is like I'm like, they obviously have to put the Ringer character in this. I'm like, who the fuck's this guy?
Yeah, for you guys who don't know, there's like there's an actual name for these type of characters, but there's a new character in the movie, brand new for the franchise, that's basically there as a stand-in for the audience. There's a name for that, but he's kind of, people are suspecting he's actually replacing Johnny Cage, which has caused a little bit of controversy on Twitter today, you know? Yeah. Go ahead, Manny. So yeah, the whatever, you know, that guy, like, you know.
He's the guy. He's the guy that's there so that everybody can go over to him and be like, "Wait, hey, what's Mortal Kombat?" Well, Mortal Kombat is, you know.
His name is Cole, by the way, but it's, again, he's just a brand new guy. John Christ. We're gonna answer that question in a little bit. He's asking us why isn't Chun-Li in the movie. We're gonna get to that.
Wait, what? Yeah, pretty much.
No. Let's get everybody's impressions first, then we're going to go over that stupid ass article. Carlos, man, what'd you think of the trailer?
Yo, man, you just confused the shit. I mean, Chun-Li.
We'll get to it. Go ahead.
So, kind of like Tony, but a little bit later. I didn't know they were making this movie until freaking shout out to Mob Hits posted screenshots on the Throwdown Discord like 2 days ago. I was like, yeah. What is this? Is this like I don't know, like it just didn't seem real. And then it's like there's like a tweet, it's like, oh, the trailer's gonna come out in 2 days. I'm like, what? So I was surprised. And I mean, I wasn't skeptical. I wasn't optimistic about it. I was just like, okay. But then I saw the trailer, and I'm like, this doesn't look half bad. I mean, I was expecting it to look like shit.
Yeah.
I was like, you know, it's like made for TV movie kind of thing. And then I was like, okay, it's on HBO Max. And I'm like, oh, okay. So only thing I didn't like about it is it had too many fucking cuts, man. That shit's like, focus on little aspects and stuff. They showed like a lot. I think they showed too much, actually. I'm like, yo, some of those deaths were like pretty brutal, man. You don't save it for the show. Yo, man, you know?
Yeah, I was worried about that. Like, what if we just saw the best things in the movie all in that trailer? You know?
That's what I'm scared of. So yeah, it looks pretty promising. I don't know if I recognize anyone in the cast.
Wow. Oh, you mean like the actors, right?
The actors, yeah.
I don't know anybody in that shit.
Scorpion's the only guy that I recognize. Scorpion. That guy was literally the villain in the Wolverine, the guy he fights at the end of the movie, who essentially becomes the Silver Samurai.
Hey, Silver Samurai?
Yeah, that guy. He's also well, no, he wasn't Silver Samurai, because Silver Samurai was that weird fucked up guy. But the guy he was fighting inside of the dojo and all that shit, the stuff he had all the most of the conflict with. And then he's also playing another like Japanese Yakuza guy in the was it Endgame? What's his face Hawkeye has a fight with him too. Guy literally always plays samurai. This guy.
Yeah.
Samurai.
Yeah, by the way, I love the fact we're also critiquing their trailer. You know, like the editing and shit. A lot of people aren't doing that, but it's true. It's like trailers in general are bad these days, man.
Yeah,
that's why I just focus on like the content, not the composition of the trailers. The trailers are just terrible. I miss the old trailers, man. You know, in a world where combatants come together, we have Mortal Kombat. Like I miss that shit.
Is that the actual trailer for the movie? Because that sounds awfully familiar.
No, I just made that up right now on the spot. Remember the in a world guy, in a world, in a place. Mm-hmm. That dude. He unfortunately passed away. I think Hollywood, I respect, just doesn't do that type of trailer anymore for him. But those were I would have loved to hear.
I don't think it's out of respect.
I thought it was out of respect.
I think it's just because it's just because Inception came along, and every single movie has to do that now.
No, but why can't we have both though? In a world.
When is the last time you've ever heard any sort of trailer dubbing?
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like I looked that up, and and it seemed to me like Hollywood's like, okay, after this guy died, we're just not going to do this.
No,
anymore.
He wasn't the only guy that did in a world. There were multiple guys that were doing it. So all of us, no, it's because when Inception came along with that sort of thing, and those sorts of trailers that are kind of themed to sort of like music stings, those sort of became the popular thing. So man, they all
bring back the in a world guy. Bring that back. I need that in another realm. All right. Anyway, Chris, what do you think of the trailer?
It was just very hectic, and I like the old movie. Like the old movie still holds like a special place with video game movies were shit. It actually was the king of the pile, right? So the remake is weird, and then I noticed some things. Like the first thing I noticed was like because Johnny Cage was like a main character in the original movie, and I was like, they didn't show him at all. They showed Jax and Sub-Zero. Okay, they're hitting all the main things, and I'm waiting, and I'm like, they didn't even show him. That was interesting. And also there was just like Carlos said, there was too many things going on. Like when you have a ton of characters in the movie, first of all, I was confused who the guy was in the kind of MMA ring in the beginning, because was he supposed to be Liu Kang? Because they showed Liu Kang later, and he looks like Ryu instead of Liu Kang.
No,
he's just a white with a red headband. I'm like, wait, doesn't look right.
That guy's the ringer. He's the one that he's not really anybody important.
Right.
He's the stand-in
that was
for
weird
the
to
audience,
me. Yeah, that was weird to me. I'm like, Liu Kang was that guy in the old movie. You follow the main three characters.
Yeah,
and then
that's right.
And then the second thing is everybody said the thing. Hey, remember the thing he said? Remember when Kano says Kano wins, he rips the guy's heart out, or Sub-Zero says I'm Sub-Zero, and you're like, oh, he said the thing. And then Scorpion says get over here, and I'm like, oh god, there's too many he said the things. He said the thing that we know from the game. All right, I'll wait and see. Like, I have HBO Max, so I'll watch it. Hell, I watched Wonder Woman 84, right? It can't worse than that. Shit, I'll give it a chance.
By the way, the name of those type of characters is called an audience surrogate. So that's what that guy is.
Yes, yeah. That I was confused. I'm like, who the fuck is this supposed to be? Because I'm just expecting characters from the game, the fighters. Right? I'm like, who the fuck is this guy? And I just assume, is that Liu Kang? He looks kind of weird. And then no, it's like they show him like a few seconds later. I'm like, that's Liu Kang. So who the fuck is this guy?
Yeah.
I like the way they literally said they show up on the screen. They're like, it's like, I am Liu Kang. I am Kung Lao.
Yeah.
I am Raiden.
Yeah, they did. Yeah. Raiden.
This is Katana.
and then you see Melina, who's licking the swords. I'm like, oh, okay, they did Melina.
Yo, Carlos, where's Slipknot at, man?
You don't know where the hell's
the man can anything.
Yo, by the way, Mecca brings up a cool point. Well, not a cool point. He mentioned something that makes me want to talk about something.
Yeah.
He says, I love how Sub-Zero rips Jack's arms off. I'm like, did they really need to show that? Like, I know, like the hardcore audience knows that he's gonna eventually lose them if he has them. why the hell would they show it? It seems like something cool to show off on the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. Brian, would you
I'm starting
think?
to dislike this movie more and more.
Damn, fuck this movie now, right?
I'm like, they showed all the good parts.
Yeah. Brian, what'd you think, man?
I don't know. I was not that impressed by the film. Well, by the trailer. Like the first 20 seconds was like, oh, so this is the setup for like why people are fighting each other because of ancient nonsense. It's like, okay, cool. We are doing this plot line. Fair enough. And then I do agree that the cuts were just a bit weird. I didn't like how I think it was like the final 15 seconds where it just had like the cut of all the characters. I felt that was just way too fast. It's like, look, if you're going to show me them, then show me them. If you don't want to show them, then don't show them. It's not that hard. Don't just again. One of the things I hate is like this thing in films or in all these trailers where suddenly you just have like this flashing black screen that just comes on like every half second. It bloody pisses me off so much. It's like, don't show me stuff to show me a black screen and piss me off. I hate that. So them doing something similar here was just really annoying. But ultimately, I'm on the side of I don't know if this is going to be good, and there are way too many bad video game films than good ones. So I'm just going to err on the side of caution and just say, I hope it will be good, but I don't know. But I'm not going to get my hopes up.
Yeah, I think that's the best way to operate because again, we've been burned way too many times, man. You know. But yo, we got to get into it, man. We got to talk about this fucking Jezebel article. We got to talk about this Jezebel article, bro. All right, so Jezebel, trash ass site. I'm just gonna say it. So they wrote this fucking headline. It goes, "Who forgot to invite Chun-Li to the Mortal Kombat?" That's literally the headline. So this thing's like 3 paragraphs long. It's like, Chun-Li's an iconic character. How dare she not be in the movie? All this other shit. So I'm there like, okay, this is an obvious troll. This is like ridiculously stupid, right? By the way, Twitter is roasting this fucking article right now, right? But they had an update to the art. Okay, let me see if did they post a time it went up. Okay, so it went up at 4:20 p.m., right? And at 4:39, it says update. Jezebel has discovered the answer to a question about Chun-Li's erasure, and it is that Chun-Li is not part of the Mortal Kombat megaverse. Wow. So I have to ask the question. Was that an actual legitimate update, or are they just continuing the troll? Because if it's an actual update, the writer's a fucking moron, right? But if it's an update to the troll, it's still a bad joke.
Pose low.
The simplest answer is the okay. So it's a
that's Occam's razor.
Okay. You mean the wait? What the fuck's pose law then?
To keep it simple, it is very difficult to distinguish an actual act of stupidity from one of sarcasm.
Oh, shit.
So I don't know if this is a troll because it seems way too dumb. But then again, it is the internet.
Yes.
But then again, people are dumb. So pose law.
Yeah, I can't tell.
I just think they're dumb because when I saw this, I'm like, oh, here we go. They're gonna set it up and say like the movie's discriminating, even though there's Asians in the movie.
Half the fucking cast is Asian, you know.
Yeah, I was like, wait, here we go. They don't represent Asian Americans because he specifically said Chun-Li. He didn't say like why isn't like Ryu in the movie or why isn't Ken or Blanca or something. He specifically called out Chun-Li, so I'm like, okay, here we go. Because I'm like, I know Gawker, they're going to virtue signal.
It's she, by the way. You know, it's a woman's site.
Yeah, whatever.
Just had to get that out there. Anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, and so I was like, here we go. They're setting up the virtue signal, and then, you know, I'm like, but this is stupid. Like the article read serious. Yeah. They were. The guy was deadly serious. I'm like, are you kidding me? Did you watch it? Do you know anything about Street? Like, it's not like Street Fighter's a new game. This is 2 old franchises. You should know this. And then they put out the update, and I'm like, no, I don't believe this was sarcasm at all. I think they were just that stupid, and they wrote this hoping to get, you know, and it's like if you wrote this seriously just to get clicks, like, haha, we didn't know. It's like, but you just look dumb. Like, this doesn't help you.
Yeah.
Except if it was just clickbait, but even then, it's like, it's too stupid.
Yeah, because again, my first instinct was like, oh, they wrote this for obvious clicks. They're going to get a bunch of nerds angry. That was the first thing I thought. But again, maybe they're right because that correction. I'm like, why would you need to issue a correction for an obvious troll thing? Maybe it's not a troll. Maybe the writer is just that stupid.
I think so.
It's amazing that to me that even got past anybody. It definitely says that
It's
says
Jezebel,
that editorial.
dude,
Well, I mean, to be honest, it's like if you're gonna write one of those articles, you at least need to get your shit together, right? If let's say, yeah, for the sake of conversation, they left out Sonya Blade, right, in the trailer, that she's not even in it. That would have been an effective way to say, yes, why isn't Sonya Blade in the thing?
No, I got the answer. It's not that hard to find out. I went to the site, I went to the post, I looked for the author, and I don't even have to read the headlines of the articles, but here are the sort of categories of the articles. The last article, the one after that, was about Kamala Harris, vice president something. Then it was the Chung-Li stuff. Then it's a tennis one. Then it's a Taylor Swift one. Then it's something about Shia LaBeouf. I'm like, there's something in common here,
Yeah, all trendy shit.
They're all trendy shits, and they're not even about video games. So, can you really expect this person to know? Like,
they're ignorant. Yeah.
What's
Jezebel? Jezebel doesn't do video games.
Especially with Jezebel, they're not a site that does video game stuff, but still, it was part of the Gawker Media shit. At least could have called up one of your Gawker peeps and been like, "Hey, is this right?" No,
it's too much work. Gotta get them clicks. Gotta get them clicks.
Or you can just Google Chung-Li and then just see what franchise she's from.
Yeah, it's a simple Google of Chung-Li will show you that she's nothing to do with Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, I think.
Or even better, you can just ask Siri or ask Google, and the damn thing will tell you.
It's funny. Yeah. It's hilarious. It's crazy because they're like they're belly aching about Chun-Li when the whole cast is an Asian cast. Like all of the characters in Mortal Kombat, with the exception of Johnny Cage, is either Asian, black, or another race.
They're not complaining about the race. They're not complaining about the race, though.
Yeah.
They're not complaining about that, at least. They're just saying,
yeah, I thought that's what they were setting it up for.
No, they didn't. It didn't go.
But it was just complete ignorance. I can see where you thought it was a troll, and then to me too, I thought, oh, this is clickbait, because you're just gonna get people mad. Go, how stupid could you be? And they read the article, right? So you got the click. But at the same time, it's like, do you want to get clicks looking retarded? Like, I don't know.
I think it was a really bad and horrible mistake that they made. They didn't know what the hell they were talking about. And now I think the update is sort of, hey, it was a joke. It kind of makes it seem like it was sarcastic.
Come to our attention.
Who the hell calls it a megaverse? That's the part that megaverse. No, who says that? For Mortal Kombat?
Jezebel,
the megaverse.
Yeah. By the way, I should add that I purposely do not call out articles that are dumb just out of professional courtesy. I couldn't help myself with this one. I had to call it out because it was so dumb. I had to do it. I had to do it. I put that shit on blast on Twitter. I don't give a fuck.
It's just
Here's the thing. Here's the thing.
Well, Carlos, what were you saying? Let Carlos go first, and you go next.
Yeah, I think it's just a lot of it's a hit piece on a video game topic, and it's every time video games gets criticized to these types of extents, it's always about someone that doesn't really play video games or knows about video games. It's always that, man. That shit pisses me off.
Yeah, Manny, what are you saying?
Well, I totally lost that thought anyways.
Stupid article. All right, but yeah, Mortal Kombat trailer. Hopefully the movie will be good. Hopefully it'll be good, All right, let's move on, man. Next topic here, and this one involves one of our favorite video game people, Mr. Phil Harrison. Mr. Phil Harrison, the head of...
What's Big Philly saying?
All right, so we all know, we covered this last week, I believe, or 2 weeks ago, whenever the fuck it happened, that Stadia was closing down its internal studios and they were just going to do third-party games, right? Now, apparently, one of the reasons, not the sole reason, but one of the reasons they stopped doing original games and stuff is because of Microsoft's buying spree. And they're like, oh, we can't compete with that. We got to just shut everything down. I'm sorry. This is one of the dumbest excuses. It's not even an explanation. Excuse I've ever heard. Why isn't Epic Game Store shutting down? Why isn't Luna shutting down? Why isn't every other competitor of Microsoft shutting down? Why isn't Sony shutting down? You know what I'm saying? It's stupid. You know, it's just a ridiculous excuse. You know, you could have done, right, to compete with that, make your own games. You could have done that too. You know? But here's the thing. They already knew that the curtains were going to close for Stadia, so they're just coming up with dumb shit now, you know? So, Chris, you go first, man. What's your take on this?
I didn't know about this till you mentioned it.
Yeah.
So
what do you think of that? I literally just explained to you the whole situation. He blames it on Microsoft. Or let me read you his little snippet here, and then you can take it from there. He goes, Harrison pointed specifically to Microsoft buying spree and planned acquisition of Bethesda software later this year as one of the factors that made Google decide to close the book on original game development.
Well, I mean that's silly, but I'm gratified that one of the things I pointed out with Microsoft's strategy of buying Bethesda was right, since he called it out. I said this back when it happened, that they were doing this this wasn't a move against Sony. Remember,
That's right.
fanboys were saying that. I was like, no, it's bullshit. It's a move against Stadia. And Phil Harrison just confirmed it. I love it. And so the other thing is now that Microsoft is not to blame for you canceling original content. That's bullshit. If anything, that should have made you want to do it more. Mm-hmm. This is look what's happening. What happened with Netflix when everybody decided they wanted a slice of the streaming pie and started pulling their licenses or letting all their contracts with Netflix expire so they could pull shows like The Office and all this shit off of there onto their own platforms. What did Netflix do? Netflix didn't go, oh, we give up. They said, no, then we'll make our own original content. Because we have to make ourselves unique. You need a unique selling proposition so that people keep subscribing to us and don't subscribe to other guys, right? So you make original stuff. That is how you compete. You don't fold and go, well, we'll just make deals with other people and whatever. We're throwing the towel. That's ridiculous. That's the opposite of what you should be doing. You should be doubling down on the original game development. You should have expanded. You should have made more studios and poured money into that and say we have unique offerings that you can only get on Stadia to make people want to play on your platform.
Yeah, no, for real, man. And here's something else right here, which I found kind of interesting, Carlos. I want to get your take on this specifically. So apparently a couple weeks before, the announcement came, he sent an email to the development team saying that they were making great progress. And when the studios were actually shut down, all the developers were like, wait, what the fuck happened? Like, they were surprised. So, what does that tell you about how mismanaged they are over there?
Well, you're doing a great job. You're fired.
Yeah.
It makes it seem that their plan was always, and like Chris mentioned, it was always to acquire a big studio. And I think Bethesda was target number 1, 2, and 3. It's crazy because if they would have kept investing into their developers, into their internal developers, it would have been a lot less cheaper than acquiring a freaking Bethesda. They could have released a couple of games at least to see, test out the market. Be like, hey, how do these games work? Are they garnering an audience? Are they getting critically acclaimed? Are they selling units? No, they could have done that for a couple of $1 million. Instead, they wanted to go for the $4 billion or was $4 billion ploy, $7.5 billion ploy for this huge ass company, and that was their freaking Hail Mary attempt to stay relevant in terms of developing games exclusively for this platform. And it just seems like, what the hell was the point of this studio? And Google is it's not like Microsoft is that much bigger than fucking Google. Their market, they're 1.5 trillion dollar companies. They're on the same level. It's not like, Google doesn't have the funds to maybe acquire another company or maybe, create more studios or maybe just fund their studios or get exclusivities with other developers. It's crazy, man. It just seems what kind of strategy is this? It's like
I don't think it is one.
Yeah, it's like it was all relied on acquiring, the big fish and nothing else. And it's fuck, man. They're dead, man. I don't care what anybody says. Stadia is gone. They're not going to survive.
They're done.
Just put it up in that Google graveyard with everything else in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Finish him, Brian, get in here, man. What are your thoughts?
It's kind of funny, really, because back when Microsoft were saying that Sony's not really the competition, it's more Amazon and Google, and quite a few people laughed at that, and then now we're seeing that, hey, Sony is actually competing by the sounds of it. Sorry, Microsoft is actually competing by the sounds of it. Like, if they're able to make moves to the point where they're causing Stadia to hurt badly, then that is quite fascinating. But then at the same time, I don't think that Stadia should have cancelled any of the studios, because you can't just say, okay, we'll give you 2 years, see what happens. Oh, there's nothing, and we're hurting, so we'll close it down. Like, no, you have to actually give them a chance to get something out there first, like get their feet wet, and then go for it. And Stadia itself, again, the concept of Stadia sounded really, really cool. I mean, you can just play your games wherever you are. You can watch a guy streaming a game and then instantly jump into that game. It's a cool idea, but just the execution was just really, really bad. And given that it's Google, it's even more surprising because it's Google. You'd expect them to make some sort of dent, but they did nothing, which is very surprising.
Yeah, that's crazy. Man, you got any thoughts?
I mean, you guys pretty much said all of it right there. I mean, it's like they just threw up their hands as soon as it happened. They're like, "Oh, well, we're done." Then why even get Jade Raymond and why get all these other people to be involved when there was nothing that was going to be happening from this? I said this from the beginning. Why the fuck did they even release this stupid thing without any sort of first party support? Fucking Phil Harrison should have known that shit. He's worked for the industry as long as he had. They literally needed to have something something in development to sit there on the top. Why do you need to buy? Why do you need to be involved with Stadia? Really? Man.
Why did
when you can literally play the same list of games on another platform for cheaper because you're not paying for a service and also with the game.
Yeah, it's crazy. The Stadia, man. But yeah, I think because right now it's still I call it the shambling zombie of it is still around. You still play third party games, but I think within a year that's just done, man. It's over.
Yeah. They don't have anything that separates them from the competition. Your chief, again, you said it before. Their chief competition is Microsoft, and they have both first party. They also have a shitload of legacy. Mm-hmm. So they are the winner in this whole situation.
Yeah, they really are.
And the only thing is that they do still need that. They still do need those cornerstone of things, but they still, one thing about them, at least for newcomers to these sorts of that platform, if that's what a person is just going for the xCloud, right? If they're just going for that thing, they have all of that stuff that's there waiting for them. Whereas pretty much Google has absolutely nothing.
Yeah, no, you're right. Project xCloud has the best library just from the jump. Yeah. It's available on PC now, by the way, xCloud. So go check it out.
Yeah. So yeah, again, they don't call it the best deal in gaming for nothing, man.
Yeah, and then once those Bethesda games come in, it's going to be really good.
Exactly.
Right now, it's still but even now, even with some of those games, people may not like all that. It's still better than whatever Stadia has. Straight up.
Yo, man, they're getting Fall Guys.
You're getting Fall. Yeah, Xbox is getting Fall Guys. There you go, man. A game that fell off the map real quick. That's one of those. I call those one of those streamer games. Streamers just made that shit really big, and now no one cares.
I mean, it's still pretty popular. It's not. I mean, it definitely fell off, but it's kind of like an Apex Legends. situation where the hype was incredibly high at the start. It just died down, but it's still got a significant fan base, and it's
our boy Alex Nuss is still playing that shit all the time. You know,
I played almost every weekend. I play with, I mean, sometimes a couple of friends tell me, it's like, hey, let's get on Fall Guys so we can talk, shoot the shit, and play Fall Guys, and we do that. And there's a lot of people playing.
Yo, man, you got a secret life or something?
Yeah.
Yo, man, you don't want to play no Demon Souls with Chris, but you playing Fall Guys, son?
Oh,
yo, man, Chris has he's battling ice zombies right now, man. I can't take his attention.
White Walkers.
So it's like it was on PC and PS4/PS5. Now it's going to be on Switch and Xbox. So
you know what they should do? You know what they should do? They need to make crossplay with that shit. Have it crossplay.
They should
across all systems. That'd be good.
Mm-hmm. They should do that.
CK, what's going on, man? I played. You know, the first time I played with Carlos was the last time I played. I no desire to play that shit ever again. You know, definitely not a Tony.
I mean, it's the Rocket League syndrome. That's what Fall Guys got, right? Entertaining, sort of multiplayer game where you can, a bunch of people trying to do something, and they're kind of goofy, dopey looking characters. Yeah, I could see why some people would be attracted to it. And, there's no cost to entry, at least the way they originally put it out. And I think that's what really did it for it, just like Rocket League.
Yeah. All right, there you go. So we could move on to the next topic here of riveting one, Nintendo Direct. I had another Nintendo Direct, people.
They direct?
Yeah, 50 minutes. I didn't know this, by the way. The last time they had a proper Nintendo Direct, not the mini one, like a proper one, was like, they said 530 days ago, which is like a year and a bunch of months. So I didn't realize. They didn't have one last year, apparently. They had mini ones, but not a full one. So we're going to do the rundown. And as always, I'm going to have Chris run down some of these things. So what did they talk about during this Nintendo Direct?
All right, so they started with the new Smash Brothers reveal. There's this girl, Pyra, in Xenoblade Chronicles 2. So she's going to be added to Smash Brothers. And I guess her Shadow clone, like she can switch dynamically between her alternate form, which is called Mithra. I don't know too much. I haven't played Xenoblade Chronicle 2, so I don't know who she is.
I don't know who this is either.
But so they started with the new Smash Brothers character. I forgot when she's gonna come out.
It says March 2021.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah, I got you backed up, man.
Yeah, so the next thing they talked about was what Carlos talked about, Fall Guys. They call it Fall Guys Ultimate Knockoff, coming this summer. The next thing they said, Outer Wilds is coming to the Switch in the summer. And then the one this one I was interested in. So a little history. Back in the late 80s, I think it was 88 or whatever, Gunpei Yokoi had directed these mystery games for the Famicom Disk System called Detective Club. I think it had another name in Japan, but it was a Japanese exclusive. I mean, obviously, the NES didn't have a floppy disk system, right? A floppy disk add-on. So this game was just in Japan, and it's this murder mystery thing, and it came on 2 disc. So, and the second game, I don't know if it was on GBA, and there was one game on the Satellaview, which was the add-on for the Super Nintendo in Japan, the Super Famicom, which also never came here. So it's interesting. They're remaking those games, the two games, not the third, the Satellaview games. I don't think it's being remade, but the first 2 games are being remade for the Switch. So it looks good. I mean, it reminds me of like Hotel Dusk, or that type of game, that type of murder mystery game, and that looked interesting. The next one, Riku probably was happy with, is Samurai Warriors 5.
Yeah,
boy. That's coming this summer. Yeah, it's like slap thousands of guys around with samurai. So
that's what Riku likes, man. That's what Riku likes. Fucking Muso games.
He loves reenacting Chinese history the most action-packed way ever.
Yes.
Yeah. So now you get to do that with Japanese history.
Yes.
What was next? Oh, so they're making a Legend of Mana. Would it be a remaster? I guess.
I guess, yeah.
It's an old Square game.
Yeah, remaster
I think it
says
was
here, yeah.
Yeah, remaster. That's coming out June 24th. So it looks like they're bringing a lot of the old Mana games. I mean, they were all on Super Nintendo back in the day.
Yeah.
I mean, they redid Trials, but that was like a remake.
Yeah, they did a full-on remake on that one.
On Trials, they did Children of Mana or Legend. I can't keep.
Didn't they do Secret of Mana too?
Yeah, they remade
Yes.
Secret of Mana. It was a disaster.
Yes, that one was bad.
That wasn't a
They
very
did.
good one.
Yeah, I reviewed that. That's not good.
All right, so that's June 24th. Then the next one, so the Switch is getting a Monster Hunter, just not Monster Hunter World.
Yeah, Rise. Yeah.
They get Monster Hunter Rise, and so the nice thing, I guess, if you're a Monster Hunter fan, there's going to be a special edition of the Switch, the regular Switch, not the Lite. The Switch is branded with the markings and stuff from the game, and it has special Joy-Cons, and a Pro Controller is going to come out. That all comes out March 26th. So the custom Pro Controller and the special edition Switch also comes out March 26th with the game. There's a new Mario Golf game called Super Rush, and that comes out June 25th. I think the main kind of feature of that game is that you have like a competitive mode where instead of everybody taking turns at all 18 holes, it's kind of like a free-for-all. So you all run between each hole and drive. So. And the characters have different moves or what. I don't know. It looks. It's golf.
It's golf.
It looks like golf.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the next one they announced Tales from the Borderland Complete Edition. So it's all 5 episodes of the Telltale game, and that's coming March 24th.
Who's publishing that? Is that Telltale?
Hey, whoever bought up Telltale, yeah, they're still using the name. So they're putting that out. Capcom is putting out Arcade Stadium. So this is like that. They did this before, but on PS3, I forgot what they called it.
Was it just like Capcom Arcade Collection or something?
Yeah, it was something like that, and it's just like 30 plus old Capcom arcade games, and basically you could pay into it. They give you one free one. I think this time they give you 1943 for free, and then you pay for packs, and then eventually buy all the packs. You get the whole arcade unlocked. I don't know how much it is. They didn't announce in this direct what the pricing is. They just said you get 1943 for free. So that became available after the stream, so you could try it out. But this was an interesting one. They are having they're doing a remaster of Stubbs the Zombie.
Okay, yeah, that is weird.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. Many people remember that. That was on OG Xbox. That came out back in 2005.
Yeah.
That game.
Yeah.
So it's an old. Was that 16 years now?
Mm-hmm.
Jeez. Yeah, and so I was shocked. I'm like, who asked for that back? But there you go. So March 16th.
Didn't they do a zombie? But didn't they do a remake of Stubbs the Zombie pretty recently?
I think you're thinking about Voodoo Vince.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and they did Medieval. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know about Sub the Zombie. What? I don't think that game is really.
Man, he's getting his corpses mixed up.
I mean, all I know. You mean those lousy mid-tiered games that are sort of just throwaway titles like Medieval and Stubbs the Zombie and what was the other one?
Voodoo Vince.
Voodoo Vince. Who cares about those games?
Yeah. Well, that's what I said when I saw this. I'm like,
you know what? I guess I could see it. It's like maybe you can get a whole new fan base of people who don't remember how shitty those games were originally.
Yeah.
Damn.
I don't know. Remake bad games, make them good, but they don't seem to be doing anything.
They're not. They're just remaking them straight.
Did they release Bubsy like recently?
I think they made a new Bubsy game.
Oh God!
They made a
that's what it was. They made a new one. It's like, who cared about Bubsy in the first place?
Yo, bring back Blinks the Cat, man.
Yeah, Blinks.
Hey, at least Blinks the Cat had a good game that sold well.
Had a good game.
Oh, you're Xbox, but yeah.
Oh, Manny, this is for you, man. No More Heroes 3.
Hey.
Also,
the excitement is palpable, man.
I mean, it's not like I'm gonna go buy a Switch for that thing. I mean,
So yeah, the theme is, I guess, the guys that Travis touched on are fighting against are aliens, and they come destroy a city, and he has to. It's the same gimmick as the other No More Heroes games. He has to fight each one, and you have to get money to fight them for some reason, and so that means he has to do crazy odd jobs and take um bounty jobs to earn money so he could pay to have boss battles. So that's the gimmick.
Pretty
in
much
that
like the
game.
old game.
Yeah, it's just the old game, and they just changed who he's fighting. The next one they announced is a DC Superhero Girls game. It reminds me of like Lego Batman or whatever. It's just in the art style of Lauren Faust. It looks like the cartoon, and that comes out June 4th. There's Plants vs Zombies Battle for Neighborville,
What?
and I guess
I haven't heard
it's
that
just
name in a
another.
while.
It's
Yeah,
just it's just Plants vs Zombie port. You know, a lot of these are ports. By the
Oh
way.
yeah, that's
Like,
a Switch's specialty right there.
yeah. Think about ports, remasters, and shit. So yeah, so that comes out June 4th. Oh, it's the truth, right? You know? Don't shoot the messenger. You know, this gets better later. I have a little. I wrote down a little translation because I love what comes near the end of this.
Oh
this,
boy.
this stream. I loved it. I was laughing. My ass off. But okay, I skipped one. Neon White. So it's this other game, Neon White, and it looked interesting. I hear Steve Bloom talk, and immediately I see Cowboy Bebop in my head, and I think of Spike Spiegel. But no, the game looks like a weird runner. You're in first person view, and you have these cards, and you're shooting monsters and running around these like big environments. So I'm like, is this Mirror's Edge? Is this a runner game? I couldn't tell. The freaking trailer didn't tell me shit really. So it is what it is. It looks weird. It has a winter 2021 release date. They announced Metopia, which is, I don't know, for 3DS guys, you might remember there was this mini game that came with the Street Pass. It's kind of like an RPG. You could play with other people, either your friends or Street Pass people, and you play this kind of RPG type thing. It looks like that expanded.
You get the puzzle pieces?
Yeah, so it looks like that just expanded. And I think it's funny they brought back the Miis. I thought the Miis were dead.
I was about to say, like
Wii U.
Wii's, isn't that like from the Wii era? Like, what the fuck?
Right? Yeah, so they brought it back. But it's just for this game, and I think there's one. I think in Mario Golf you can make a Mii. So I don't know if it's like the Mii is going to be on the Switch as part of the system, or you're just making characters in these individual games. I don't know. Animal Crossing gets some Super Mario content. Yay! Square announced a game that very much looks like Octopath Traveler, but it's a tactical RPG. They're calling it right now. It's just Project Triangle Strategy. That's the working name right now.
Project Triangle Strategy.
So either they're not calling the side stuff Final Fantasy anymore, because I would have said, oh, it's a Final Fantasy Tactics game.
Yeah.
But since they're just using everything has a weird name now, it could be whatever. So it's Project Triangle Strategy. It comes out next year. They just said 2022.
But Triangle Fantasy so tensai.
Project, yeah, right. Oh,
some English in it to make it sound exotic.
The next one was literally a 30-second. I wouldn't even call it trailer, because it was just like a cutscene with some random Star Wars shit, and it said Star Wars Hunters, and I didn't know. I don't know what type of game it is or whatever. It just says coming out 2021. There's a game called Knockout City, which looks like it's like Battle Royale for kids. I guess what I would call it is like if you did kids Battle Royale with Street Dodgeball. That's what it looks like.
All right, well,
like
hold on.
Yeah.
No, I was just gonna ask. Like, I thought we had kids of Battle Royale. It's called Fortnite.
Right? Yeah, but you have guns in Fortnite. This is even more kid. You don't have guns.
Gotcha. It's
you
just
know?
dodgeball.
It's just dodgeball. Yeah. The next game was. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, if you can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a ball.
Man, the next game was it's called World's End Club. So I don't know if anybody played the Zero Escape games or the Danganronpa games, but this the same guys made this game.
Oh, those are those sort of like visual novel game things, right?
Yeah, this looks a little like you do a little more than that, but it's in the same vein where it's like somebody's fucking with a group of people and they have to figure out what's going on and get out of it. So it's that theme, but it's kid characters, so I'm assuming it's a little lighter than the Zero Escape games or whatever, which had just murder and stuff in it.
Mhm.
The next thing, Hades is getting ported to the Switch. It's going to get a physical release, and they said there's an art book, I guess, comes with the game. That looks nice. The art book looks nice. March 19th it comes out. So they're putting Ninja Gaiden Sigma, Sigma 2, and 3 on a master collection for the Switch, and that's going to come out June 10th. So if you had a hankering to punish yourself and play those games again, you can pick that up.
I heard some people complaining that they weren't the Xbox versions because the Sigma ones were the PS.
What was the PlayStation versions? Yes, they
I
were. But those were like kind of the
The
beefed up
definitive
versions with the extra modes, right?
Yeah.
So
they
why
were.
wouldn't you want the definitive
how
ones in the
motherfuckers
collection?
And then my other question is: are these the ports of the Vita version? Because they had a Vita version of Sigma 2, I believe, and the first one. I might be wrong about the first one, but I know for a fact I reviewed the Sigma 2 on Vita. So maybe it's that version. Who knows? Because it's already downscaled.
Yeah, I don't know either. They're not going to tell us, right?
I wonder. Here's my question to you about that. I was just wondering this. Like, do you think? Because Team Ninja, they got Itagaki back and all that. I know Itagaki's doing his own thing, right?
Yeah, I think he's
doing his own thing.
Okay.
You get him back.
Yeah. Okay. So I was just wondering.
He's doing Xbox. He's doing he wants to do an Xbox exclusive. Remember?
Yeah, that's right. So I was just wondering if you think maybe this is a precursor to a Ninja Gaiden 4, or do you think it's just another in an endless string of Switch ports?
The second one.
All right. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I was just wondering, but I was like, I don't know, because it's like you're listing like what was it 70% things you listed right now? They're all fucking ports.
Yeah, they're all ports. And this is the thing. This was the initiative for the new guy, the guy who took over for Kimishima. I can't ever remember his name, but he was on the Direct. Yeah. The new president of Nintendo Japan. He is content hungry. He basically said he wants the Nintendo eShop to be like Steam, right? He had some quote like that. Yeah. I'm not quoting him, I'm paraphrasing, but he wants that kind of level of content in games, right? So ports, he's taking them all. He's taking everything. So it's just a port. I don't think this is like, this is going to lead into Ninja Gaiden 4. It could, but I don't think this is related. I think this is just Nintendo wants more fucking content, and that's why this exists.
Yeah. By the way, I want to give a quick shout out to Logically Dashing, who is also our friend, Mr. David Giltonen. So what's going on, David?
Oh, what's up, man?
Manny, by the way, if you see David on Twitter, his profile picture, Manny did that. He drew that for him.
Yep.
Which is really cool.
Very nice.
All right.
You actually watch a really cool time lapse of it.
Yeah. And I'll pull this up, but David did a really good audiobook version of I'll pull that up for you guys. I got to plug, David. I got to plug, brother. So, Chris, go ahead, man. Keep going.
Oh, okay. Next, they announced that there's an expansion pass for Hyrule Warriors. So there's content coming out in May, June, and November, and the expansion pass is $20.
Just in time for my birthday! Yay!
Oh, come on! I find it funny that they're putting out an expansion for a game that they didn't even mention in their annual financials. I'm just pointing that out there.
Yeah,
I don't think that game broke 1 million. So good luck with that expansion pass. The next one was Bravely Default 2. It's coming out February 26th. I'm still confused where Bravely Second fits in there. I didn't play it.
Yeah, Bravely Second came out after the first game, but it's not stylistically the same. You know what I'm saying? This one is the same as the first game.
Oh yeah, this looks like the first game. Like that's what I thought too. I'm like, oh okay, this looks and it has the job system and everything. So I was like, okay, so that, I mean, it's truly is a sequel, and I was confused. I'm like, wasn't there a Bravely Second? And they named it Bravely Second, which made me think it was a sequel. But it's not a sequel. This is the sequel. All right.
It's weird. It's weird.
Yeah. So, Capcom is putting out a new Ghosts and Goblins game called Ghosts and Goblins Resurrection.
Gonna get fucked up again.
Yeah, I mean, if anybody hasn't tried the old ones, I mean, they're cheap. You could get the Sega Classic Collection, whatever, or you could, use an emulator or something. Play the old one. Just try it, right? And that game is so brutally hard. Like, we always talk about classic games like Castlevania, Contra, whatever. I have even beat original Ninja Gaiden. I have never beaten Ghosts and Goblins. Never.
Oh man,
I didn't even get to the thing where it flips the map. Like, remember, you beat it, and it's like, oh, this is not the real ending, and you got to start over. I never got that far, so that game is just brutal. That comes out February 25th. And there's the gimmick of this game is you can have a co-op character. So Arthur has these helper characters, like he has like a defense helper that you can have a second player play, and then there's an offensive one, and then there's a helper that can help him with long jumps, like create bridges and stuff. So that was pretty interesting. So you can get players in there. Yeah. There's also another old Squaresoft game, Saga Frontier Remastered. So
what?
So going back to OG PlayStation, Saga Frontier, this is a remaster of that game. From like '97, I think that came out.
Yeah,
that comes out. What?
Saga Frontier is old school. I mean, I think they did make a PlayStation 2 game, and then I think they ended it. I don't know.
There are probably sequels. I mean, that game. I mean, even though it came here, there was previous games that didn't come here for that series. But this one, I think they expanded it because I read in with this game's development, there was supposed to be a 9th story, and they cut it for time. But I think they restored it for one of the characters because there's an extra playable character now, and he was cut out of the old game. So that's the little they threw that back in. So it's pretty interesting. Apex Legends is gonna come out on the Switch on March 9th.
Oh.
All right. So now this was near the end of the Direct, right? And this is where it got great because then I was like, you're near the end. You've filled in all this time with a lot of ports and whatever, and a couple interesting things, but no big news. So I'm like, this is where they're gonna talk about the big thing, right? So all the fanboys are sweating. They're like, oh my god, maybe it's Bayonetta, maybe it's Breath of the Wild 2. Oh shit, maybe it's Metro Prime Pro. Yeah, maybe it's the Switch Pro. Oh Jesus, they pissed themselves. Well, then the boss man snaps his fingers, and who's on there is Eiichi Aonuma. Oh, he's like Jesus. He comes down. He's going to give you Breath of the Wild 2. Oh, it's saved. But then he spoke, and I got to read this. I'm quoting the man. First thing he says is, "Hello there. I'm Eiichi Aonuma, producer of the Legend of Zelda series. I'm sure a lot of you saw me and thought there might be news about the sequel to the Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild game. Unfortunately, we don't have anything to share right now. We apologize. The development is proceeding smoothly, and we should be able to bring you some new information later this year. Wow. For now, we have to ask you to wait a bit longer." That's a quote. I wrote that down for you guys.
Why even do this?
You know what that reminds me of? Sony had this presentation. I don't think it was PSX, but it was around that time, right? So they flew this one dude, one of the Final Fantasy producers, right? Flew this man out from Japan, like, all right, we got the Final Fantasy VII news you've been waiting for. Then he shows a remaster of the original game, and then he leaves the stage. I'm like, what the fuck? This is exactly the same thing. It's hilarious.
Yeah, this was just like a troll. Yeah, he came out, and he addressed that immediately. So it's almost like you could hear the screams, across the Switch landscape. But then after that, after he apologized and he bowed, he announced Skyward Sword HD.
Oh, here we go.
Yeah, so that actually had leaked last year. Somebody had leaked that was coming, and turns out that was right. So that's gonna come out July 16th. The nice thing is they put in normal controls in there.
Oh yeah,
So
yeah.
because hey, you can't take the Joy-Cons off the Switch Lite, so they kind of had to. So there's normal button controls, and then you could use the Joy-Cons like you use the Wii Remote and Nunchuck if you want to play that way. That comes out, yeah, July 16th. Also, they are making custom Joy-Cons for the Switch, and those will also come out July 16th. And then they closed the Direct with Splatoon 3, and it's Splatoon.
Yeah.
It's like every Nintendo's fan's least favorite big Nintendo title.
Yeah,
like-
I was just like, you need a third one? Really?
It's like
Okay,
people
it's the
just
same
make-
thing.
You could just do add-ons to 2. It would be the same.
I mean,
thing.
it literally, there was nothing special about it. They padded it out with a long cutscene. It was one of the Squid Kids in there in the desert, and it looks like you could customize her slightly. So was that the draw? Like you could customize the Squid Kids a little bit? Is there an adventure mode? I don't know. Nobody said anything, and it just goes into the insanity, and they're shooting paint at each other, just like the other games, and it says Splatoon 3. And that was it. That was the end of the Direct.
So another winner then, huh? All these.
Oh,
directs-
this was lackluster bullshit. I just say that right now. The only thing personally, I was like, okay, the Famicom, what was it? The Famicom Detective Club or whatever. Shit, that sounded interesting, right? And then, I was like, No More Heroes 3. Okay, I might play that. And then I was like, oh, okay, so Kristen likes Zelda, and I never played Skyward Sword because I don't like motion controls. So I would probably play this one now that they actually put normalized controls in there. I played Bravely Default too, but that's not stuff I was like, I didn't know that was coming. Oh, Bravely, I knew that was coming. So there was no surprises in here, or the rest of it was like, why would you bring back Stubbs the Zombie? Or it was just filler. It was just like this remastered, this port. What you want? Golf? So yeah, that's what I thought about that shit.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing I care about in this whole thing was Bravely Default 2, and I already knew about that.
Yeah.
Other than that, I don't care. Don't care. Monster Hunter, right? I said this about Monster Hunter games. It just says World 2. I don't care. Like it needs to say Monster Hunter World 2. Otherwise, I don't care. I am not trying to play no Monster Hunter game on a Switch. Get out of here. The demo for the new game, right? I got to try. Oh, David. I did try the demo for Bravely Default. That's the game that made me realize, oh shit, I can't play Switch on my 4K TV because it looks terrible. so I'm not gonna play my Switch portably. It looks good. It looks good. I love the first one. I wish Nintendo would port that. As a matter of fact, Nintendo, if you're listening, I know you're not listening. Port Bravely Default and port Samus Returns, please, because we can't be having those on 3DS. But yeah, other than that, this shit boring. Boring. I saw some people complaining like, "Oh, this thing was whack." I'm like, it's another Nintendo Direct, bro. What do you expect?
Well, everybody gets themselves hyped up. Everybody does the same thing.
Yeah.
It's like, stop wish casting. Stop thinking they're gonna all of a sudden
Metroid 4 is coming. That's it. Metroid is gonna happen this time, man.
That it's just gonna be megatons.
Yeah.
Like, no, they don't do. They never do that.
And it's never a megaton ever.
No.
It's hilarious. All right. Does anybody have any thoughts on the Nintendo Direct? Yep, I think that says it all. I think that says it all, Ben. Metroid. We're getting another logo this year, David. By the way, what's up? Go ahead.
I mean, it was like a freaking hour long, or close to an hour long presentation. I expected something, at least one big thing. There was a lot of rumors flying around. Most of them were, not going to be true. The Switch Pro one was one that I knew wasn't going to happen, but I still want it to happen because, my Switch, like Tony mentioned, playing Bravely Default 2, it's like on the TV looks freaking bad, especially on my TV.
Basura.
I want a Pro, man. Make this shit like, I don't know, higher resolution or something. It just looks, it looks washed out. So yeah, I wasn't expecting much. I was expecting maybe one thing, maybe I don't know, maybe Breath of the Wild 2, or maybe Super Mario Odyssey 2, or maybe I don't know, fucking Metroid or something. So they Splatoon 3, man. I'm not into that stuff. So I'm thoroughly disappointed by the whole presentation. It was really boring. I was falling asleep.
Typical Nintendo Direct, then.
It made me want to go back to work, man.
Damn.
Because I was at work, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna reserve this 1 hour so I can watch this thing, and I'm like, I'm watching it. I'm like, let me check my emails. Let me compile this code that was.
Look at my phone.
It was pretty bad, man.
That's crazy. All right. I kind of want to share my screen right now, but last time I tried that, it led to disastrous results, so I'm not going to do that. But I do want to quickly plug David's book, because David's actually doing audiobooks now. He has a very silky voice, but it is bassy too, perfect for audiobooks. So he did the audiobook for this book that's called Stay a While and Listen, Book 2, Heaven, Hell, and Secret Cow Levels. It's about the early days of Blizzard Entertainment. If you guys want to know some Blizzard history, go check it out. I heard the first chapter, and David, man, you do a great job, man. I'm not really like an audiobook guy like that. I prefer to read it, but but then again, I know you and shit. I'm like, oh, that's David. This is crazy. But you definitely do a good job. So you guys are interested in that? Because again, this is just me. I like to read my books, but I know a lot of people like to listen to books, and this is kind of like a cool podcast in a way, because you're learning about gaming history. So that's over on Audible right now, and actually I'll link you guys to that right here, because I'm allowed to post links in the chat because I am an administrator. I could do that. You guys can't. Everybody in here can, but nobody in the chat can. So go check that out. David, yeah, if you want to he wants to do a giveaway. Yes, you may give something to one of the fans. Ask him some. I guess you know what. Do it your way, David. But yeah, do a giveaway right now if you want, dude. For the guys listening in the chat, that's awesome. Thank you, David. Yeah, give some codes away. This is what you get when you listen to Throwdown Live, man. You get free codes and stuff. David, thank you so much, man. That's awesome. Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah. See, the chat's already going nuts. Like, yeah, let's go. Yeah, he goes, sure, I love you guys, and I want to give back to the community. That's what's up. That's what it's all about, man. It's all about the community, All right, let us move on. Thanks again, David. That's fantastic. All right, this one's kind of cool. Secret sauce time. This is real, though. This is real, though. So Xbox Series X will unlock double or quadruple the frame rate on certain backward compatible games. No patches whatsoever either, right? So right now, the games that will receive this are Far Cry 4, Watch Dogs 2, Super Lucky's Tale, Sniper Elite 4, and UFC 4. Pretty cool, and they say that's just the beginning. Let me read this. Go ahead, Manny. Go ahead.
It's a very interesting thing the way they're getting it to work. Digital Foundry actually did a little feature on it not long ago.
Tell us about it then, man. How does it work?
Oh, it's weird. Like, it has something to do with the way they're somehow tricking the game into thinking into refreshing itself faster. So the game thinks it's running at 30 frames per second, but they're somehow getting more out of it, which is a really weird way of doing it. They've only have it available for a few games so far, but it's like what is it? Watchdog Legion and a couple of
Watch Dogs 2, Far Cry 4, Super Lucky's Tale, UFC 4, and there's another one I missed. But yeah, they got those running. It's pretty interesting.
Yeah, it's pretty. The only caveat on those games is, well, Super Lucky's is crazy because they had that game running on 4K on the Xbox One.
Yeah,
and the One X. So now it's they can get that game running to was it 100 and something FPS? That's because it was running 60 before, but now it's even higher than 60.
Yeah, they said some go up to 120.
That one's full 4K. The other games, unfortunately, they're not getting any boosts to them, so they're still running at 900p like old Xbox One games used to run. But still, I mean, I don't know what their upscaling solution on there is, but I don't think it'll look too bad, does it? I don't know. Yeah. But yeah. It's pretty cool to kind of get that legacy running. Some of those games, especially games with games from game studios that don't exist anymore. It's a really good way to sort of keep those games alive, right? They're not obviously they're not running in 4K, but at least the it'll be running at like 60 frames per second or maybe more for some of them.
Yeah, I mean that's cool. I wonder if PlayStation is going to be able to do that. By the way, David, the URL you posted isn't working. DM me on Twitter and I'll post it here and it'll work. It's cool that it's like we kind of have to have this going because there's no new games coming. So might as well make your old games play as good as possible.
I mean, I'd like to see some of those games. Like, I mean, shit. Because games like Metal Gear Solid, the previous Metal Gear Solid games aren't available there. On 3 and 2, those might run really well. What about fucking 5? That might run really pretty damn good on there too.
Yeah.
If they're not, because I don't know how Konami's. I don't think Konami's going to be retroactively patching any of their older games to be running better on the new Xbox. But
yeah, pretty interesting. Carlos, are you excited, man? You got the X right there, man. It's right there in the frame.
Yo, man, you can see that shit?
Yeah.
Look at that.
Next to that, what is that shit? The Chico? What is that?
Topo Chico. It's a carbonated water thing. It's really good.
Nice. Yeah, and Avita love, baby.
Yo, Avita. Yo, man. Shout out to Riku.
Shout out to Riku.
I'm not really looking forward to it. It's pretty cool. I mean, I'll admit that. It's pretty cool. Because some of the games that were announced, that was a Watch Dogs 2 and there's another one that was announced, Far Cry.
Far Cry 4, I think it was.
Far Cry 4, yeah.
Far Cry 4,
Far Cry 4, Super Lucky's Tale, Sniper Elite 4, that's the other one I forgot. UFC 4 and Watch Dogs 2.
Yeah, none of those games I actually played or I'm interested in playing. Maybe Super Lucky's Tale because it's on Game Pass. But if they announce something else, they already did a Master Chief Collection 120 frames, which is pretty awesome. It looks incredible actually. 4K 120 frames. But if they do it for a game that I'm interested in, sure, I'll be excited. But right now I'm just, it's just pretty cool instead of it doesn't have me that excited about it right now.
Mm-hmm. Makes sense.
Yeah. Oh man, David is blessing people right now. Thank you, sir.
What are these passes for?
This is for his audiobook that he did audio
nice.
for. History of Blizzard. That's cool though. All right. I don't think there's much more to say about this story. That's cool. It's good that Xbox is getting
I have stuff to say.
Brian.
What are you saying, Brian?
Mm-hmm. I think it's pretty damn cool that they can do that because what's the one thing that everyone just keeps harping at Sony about? Like, hey, can we get a PS5 patch for this game? Can we get a PS5 patch for this game? And now Xbox has managed to do that without actually having the devs go back and deal with it. So potentially they can just say, okay, cool, we'll make all these backwards compatible games now 60 frames per second, and devs don't need to do shit. I'm pretty sure that there's a whole bunch of people who are just like saying, hey, that's fantastic. Like, rather than us going back to the code base because maybe the code base is ass or they have to deal with like outdated stuff, like they can just say, hey, the console can just go ahead and make it look like it's 60 frames and smooth. So I think that's a really cool idea. It'd be nice if Sony had something similar. Because again, it means that we don't have to sit here and say, hey, when is Zero Dawn getting a PS5 patch? It's like,
yo, Brian.
How the hell do they feel like it?
Brian.
Yep.
Bloodborne, bruh.
Exactly. Bloodborne. PS5 patch. Chances are it's never going to happen, but if Sony adopts something like what Microsoft has, then yeah, it could happen. And there you go. Like all these games now have boosted frame rates.
Brian,
what's up?
The funny thing about all of this thing is you're 100% right. But all of that excitement, it's like, man, I wish Sony did this.
Hey, that's right. Everybody says that, right? Yeah, because it's a system people actually own. Oh.
Well, it's because it's the games. It's like, man, imagine Horizon with that boost. Imagine fucking Bloodborne with a boost, man.
Now you're right
But
about that. It's like, would you rather have Bloodborne with 60 frames or Super Lucky's Tale? Let's just be real here. Let's be real. Yeah, you know.
Yo, man, I'm such a big up Super Lucky's, man. You guys suck.
Yeah, maybe you guys start over and kill you. Like, damn, man, you got personal right now. This is the intro that we're talking about. Wow.
Gary. Yeah. It's cool though. It's cool that Microsoft's doing it because this kind of stuff forces the competitor to respond.
Hell yeah, Sony, what's up? Sony.
Yo, man, where you at?
Yo, what's up? What you got, Jim Ryan?
Yeah,
he'll be like, absolutely nothing. He'll be like, absolutely nothing, and you're gonna like it, aren't you?
Yeah. No, this is what Jim Ryan was saying. We've seen that people don't care about 60 frames a second. It's just something that they just don't care about, so we won't worry about it. Remember when he said that shit about old games? Nobody wants to play old games. They look like rubbish. To play old games. Like, word, bro. People want to play Bloodborne at 60 frames. That's an old fucking game, you know?
Yeah, people don't want to play old games, but yet no, you gave a bunch of them away for free when people got the new console. Huh. Nobody wanted to play no old games.
Yeah, right. Crazy, man. Sony.
Nobody wants to play old games when you got new shit.
Yeah, and right now, man, do we have new shit? No, we don't.
No, there is no new shit. So that's why.
Why do you think I'm playing Iceborne again? Why do you think we're playing Division 2? There's no new games.
You literally went through whatever the new experiences were, and then that's it. Now it's like, okay, now it's essentially just the PlayStation Pro Plus.
Pro Plus, that's right.
Damn.
I don't know if anyone's gonna get mad at it. It's the truth, though. It's the truth. All right.
Come on, come on, like you can't say you're gonna buy you can say you're gonna buy the new console for the new games. It's got quite a bit of new titles, but then I mean, if you like, some people we already sort of blasted through all those titles. So what do you got?
That's right. Man, I paid $500 for that thing. You better not make fun of it.
It's okay. Where'd you go?
Oh, man. All right.
You like not having no games. You can like not having no games.
You know, I'm kind of okay with no games right now. I'm like, I'm good. You know, I got other things to work on. All right.
Life.
Yeah, life. Exactly, man. It ain't all about games. Unlike some other people put 7,000 hours into a game.
Oh,
we love you, Big Mike. We love you, man. Oh, man. All right. Let's move on, man. All right, this one's funny. You guys remember Avengers? A game that currently has 100 players, 100 people watching on Twitch. I'm not kidding. Brian, can you check the latest number? Because when I checked last time, which was 3 hours ago, 111 people watching stream. So check the numbers. So Avengers, right, is coming to next gen. Man, next gen games.
Oh my god! My god, they can actually make Avengers not run with a shitty frame rate.
Yeah, but here's the problem with it: it's still the same game. It's still the same game.
The game looked rough on the PlayStation and Xbox. Lousy frame rates all in those trailers. It was just. Did they add more game to it?
No, it's just the same game with better looking graphics, better frame rate. There you go.
Do we get to play Spider-Man?
Hold on. Improved load times, people.
Okay, so solid.
So you get to
but
play the game.
But that's a given. That's that's like if you splash water in your face, it'll get wet. Like it's running on a fucking SSD, like brand new system.
Better have better. By the way, this is I don't care about this game, but I will admit this part is a little intriguing to me. Each hero is going to have unique haptic feedback. That's kind of cool, but I'm not buying a game for that. You know, I'm not buying a game for that. I think it's going to have the Hawkeye DLC for free. Correct me if I'm wrong about that, people.
Is that Spider-Man DLC, huh?
That's not that's not out yet.
The one that everybody was losing their mind over. No, nobody.
By the way, if somebody in the chat, let me know: is the Hawkeye DLC going to be included in this, or do you have to buy it? Watch them make you buy this shit.
They got to give you some incentive.
Okay. So the DLC is gonna be released alongside. Here's the thing about Avengers, right? The story was not bad, but it's not worth the money, man. It really isn't. You know. It's funny because I've seen some cats on Twitter put I'm not kidding, hundreds of hours into this game, bro. I played. If you look, you can see my Steam record. 16 hours. I was done. I was like, I played this shit. I reviewed it. I'm not touching this ever again. It's the consummate. I'm only playing this game for review. That's like I don't want to touch this thing, Brian. So what's the number? How many people are actually watching this thing streaming?
It's a massive 102 people.
Wow. You know,
102. Great.
Yeah. By the way, when I checked for funsies, checked Cyberpunk, that at least had almost 700 people. You know, and that's a pure single player game that's all broken. Ain't that something? You know.
How broke is it?
Yeah. How broke is it? Very broken. Yay. All right. I need to vamp a little bit. By the way, David, once again, thank you. He hooked up 3 of our fans with his audio, which is really cool, man. Always like working with Dave. Good guy. Dave, we got to get you back on the show, man. David, he's also the guy we have on. Literally, whenever we have like a live reaction stream, Dave is always the guy, man. Always.
By the way,
what's up?
Speaking of live reactions, shout out to Mob Hits again.
Mob Hits?
He asked us on the Discord chat. He's like, "Hey, are you guys gonna stream the Nintendo Direct?" And I thought about it for like 2 seconds, and I'm like, I don't think so. I'm glad we didn't, man.
Waste of time, man.
Spider Sense went off on that one.
Yeah. Because of the Nintendo Direct, you know. All right, let's move on, man. Next thing. All right, so Bungie has plans to expand, people. So this is kind of interesting. And we're going to also kind of cover this later on. So 2020, despite all the Rona nonsense, Bungie did very well. So well that they're actually going to expand to have a bigger studio, like another not another HQ, but another building filled with more developers. They're gonna have, do more expansions for Destiny 2 and other projects, which is pretty cool. And I firmly believe they're able to do all this because they're not under the heel of Activision. They're able to just do their own thing now. It was Activision, right? It was an EA that did Destiny. Just making sure I got that right.
Activision.
It's Activision. Activision. Wait, why are we doing French on Ubisoft?
Yeah, that's Ubisoft. Yeah.
Yeah. Carlos, what's your take on this, man? Let's get you started here first, just because.
I'm surprised they haven't partnered with anyone else. Like, I was expecting, it's like they kind of quote unquote left Activision, and I thought they were gonna like look for another partner. It's like, oh, maybe Microsoft, since they might not acquire them like they did Bethesda.
They didn't want to. They're not going back to that relationship, bro. I'm gonna tell you right now.
Who knows, man? I mean, stranger things have happened. Or Sony or someone, Stadia, it's like it would have been pretty interesting, but that Destiny money, man, it's just too fucking much.
Yeah,
a lot of people still play that. A lot of people still hype for it. They had that patch last year.
Yeah, I reviewed it too. The Dark Light or whatever, that shit is dope. By the way, here's the thing, I want to ask you this directly, Carlos, since you asked it. Mm-hmm. Do they really need to partner with anybody? They're doing pretty good without being partnered with anybody.
No, they definitely don't.
They're also owned by one of those big Chinese conglomerates, aren't they?
Uh-oh.
Yeah, that's why they were able to step away from Activision, because
got that communist money.
I think it's the same. I think it's the same company.
They got that 10-cent money.
They got that 10-cent money.
I think it. Don't quote me on this, but I think it's the same company that is associated with Epic.
Well, that's Tencent.
Tencent, yeah.
Is it Tencent?
That's why I said they got the Tencent. That's the Epic. That's the Epic.
There's a couple of those companies. like they're all sort of connected. So yeah.
Anyway, continue. Yeah. Continue.
So
NetEase, by the way, NetEase.
There we go.
Yeah, that's right. I don't think, to answer your question, Tony, I don't think they need to partner up with anybody, but it's just, it's kind of like, the last, 20 odd years of their existence, they've been partnering up with people. So it's just kind of nature that they think they might partner with someone else, but they definitely don't need to. Destiny on its own is selling a lot. Who knows? I mean, in this thing, did they even talk about a new IP? Because I don't think they're going to come up with a new one. I think they're going to ride this Destiny train for at least a couple of more years.
They're still making them a lot of money, man.
Yeah, it's still making a lot of money, and they, Destiny 3 is going to be big if they decide to do that, or if they want to do another expansion. It's going to be big also. I don't understand it because even for Destiny 1, I never fell for the rope-a-dope, but a lot of people did, and a lot of people are still on that train. Every time something new with Destiny comes out, whether it's an expansion, whether it's a patch to boost the frames on the PS on the next gen version of consoles, people get back into it, and good for them. But I hope they announce a new IP because I still believe in Bungie. Bungie, for all the faults that Destiny has, most of them are just the practices of what the game is supposed to be. But as far as the mechanics of the game, like, it still has that whole Halo feel to the game, and it's like some of the best first person controllers out there.
Oh, without a doubt, Destiny is the best FPS out there as far as the controls go, easily.
So I hope they can so if they're actually expanding, I hope they can expand to a new IP and experiment more. Have another title that Bungie can make people excited for.
So check out. So I'm reading this from Forbes. They are also forming separate teams for its new incubation projects, though none are officially announced here. They plan to release their first non-Destiny IP before 2025. Interesting.
2025?
Yeah, before 2025. So they do plan to do a new IP. And here's
man. Yeah. Bring back Marathon, man.
And Chris, check this out. They're bringing in somebody who works for Viacom CBS to work on potential TV or movies.
Damn, really?
I thought this was like the dark timeline. I thought this was a dark timeline. I thought Tony was gonna end the sentence like they're gonna bring in Jade Raymond, and then it's like, and then the game will never come into fruition.
That's the kiss of death.
Man. I mean, she hasn't. I mean,
we're not gonna talk about her. But yeah, that's kind of interesting. Because Destiny. I think Destiny would be a cool animated movie, like straight to video type of movie,
Yeah.
But then again, everything's straight to video now, isn't it? If you really think about it.
Well, Tony, the story of Destiny is so compelling that it deserves to have an animated.
Well, the thing is, there is a story. There's just you never get told it in the actual game.
Mm-hmm. You got to read all that flavor text, don't you?
Yeah, and we got to have my man Broyles in there. Got to have him in there. By the way, Lance Hendrick, that's his name, right? Lance Hendrick, he was on Twitter the other day directly thanking the fans for making Destiny such a success. So that's pretty cool, that he did that. I want to tell you, I want to thank you for making Destiny a success.
It's a game. It's on Game Pass, right?
I don't know.
Remember correctly?
Don't quote us on that. Don't quote us on that.
Let me check.
Yeah, you can do that, Brian. All right, so yeah, Bungie, good for you guys, man. Tony's Bernie Sanders. I don't know how to do Bernie Sanders. Manny, you do Bernie Sanders better, don't you?
You're talking about.
Enough of those goddamn emails.
Stop calling me. Why do I have to be here? It's so cold.
Yeah.
Once again.
Oh, man.
I should be president. Okay.
The Democrats robbed me.
What?
Oh, man. All right. Hold on. I got to put the little Chiron here for our next story, and then we'll move on to our next story because I'm just filling up space here. All right. So this one, okay. Little context before we move on.
Oh.
We hear rumors about this fucking franchise every month, basically, right? And I do not report on them. I'm like, rumors, whatever. But in this instance, Game Informer is reporting on it. Game Informer will not post bullshit on their site. This may not be true. This is still a rumor, right? Just keep that in mind. This is still a rumor. But the fact that Game Informer is actually reporting on it makes me go, you know what? Let's talk about this, right? Silent Hill. So we've been hearing about that forever. Silent Hill is coming back. We're getting remastered, a new game. We've been hearing all these rumors, right? So now the rumor is that multiple studios are actually working on reboots or other installments of Silent Hill, which is kind of interesting. One of the big ones was Konami did say that they are, this is factual, by the way. This part is not rumor. It's not factual. They said that they are trying to get a third party to make a new Silent Hill game. So that's factual. And then this part is the rumor part that I forget the name of the studio, the one that did The Medium, the Xbox game The Medium, that they are working on an unannounced IP of an established horror franchise. So people are like, maybe it's Silent Hill. It could be both, right? It could be both. Like it could be Konami is getting those guys to do it, which is kind of blooper. Thank you, Blitz.
They said there's actually two companies right now.
The
rumor is Blooper Team, and then they said there's a Japanese team.
Yes.
My guess.
This
is my
Kojima
guess.
Productions.
Well, no, not Kojima Productions, but that would be fun.
Yeah.
I think it's Toyama's company. Toyama, the original director of Silent Hill, has recently left Sony, and I think we did talk about this not long ago. And they did this announcement where they're essentially telling you, okay, all the different people that are working there, all former Sony people, all people games who worked on, a couple people who worked on literally the director of Silent Hill, the original Silent Hill, and a bunch of people who worked on The Last Guardian, Gravity Rush, which he also directed. So that would be interesting if Konami managed to get them to do a new title in the game. Yeah. Essentially coming back.
Yep. Chris, what's your take, Ben? Kind of how I feel about it. I want to hear news, Yeah.
I mean, it's just like we hear rumors about it all the time, and I don't trust Konami anymore to do anything. I don't know what to make of it. They could have handed it over to this company, or it could be something else. I don't know. I don't even really think I care too much, because I think the original direction that was going on with Kojima and Del Toro and that stuff, that's the game I wanted to see. I don't know what this new thing will be.
Yeah. Oh, perfect segue right here. David is asking us, would you want to see Silent Hill come back into PT approach, or something different?
No, I wanted the PT thing, because I think that worked. I think Capcom, I said this before, I think Capcom picked up that ball and ran with it, and that's why Resident Evil 7 looked the way it did.
Yeah, totally. So we should thank PT for Resident Evil, or the recent one, 7 and 8.
Even though Capcom's like, no, we had it in development before then.
Sure you did. I'm sure you did, Capcom. All right.
No, and all they did was say, hey, you know what this is missing? Giant vampire titties. So
that's all we got. That's all we got. Dimitrescu, man. Shit is crazy. So we'll see. Again, this is still rumor, but it would be cool, But I think Silent Hill would kind of have to be like, maybe we should go down that PT route, because it's working very well for Resident Evil, Maybe they'll be like, hey, well, hold on, we're the king of weird ladies I want to kill you. We had that shit in Silent Hill already, man. We're gonna make our nurses 10 feet tall.
Well, the thing about Silent Hill is it's different for everybody who's in there, right? It has to deal with alternate dimensions and all kinds of things. So that's why you could have sort of weird, sort of disconnected games. Silent Hill 2 is almost pretty far from Silent Hill 1, with there's very similar little lore things that are between them, but other than that, so it's like being in hell. Hell is different for each person, right?
Yeah.
So
Street Fighter 5, he goes, Street Fighter 5 fans are petitioning to add Lady Dimitrescu to Street Fighter 5. Hey, she's a Capcom character technically,
Yeah, I mean, you can literally, like, wasn't there there's a female Gil in that game, and not Gil, is it Gil? Yeah, there's a female Seth in that game, isn't there?
I believe so. By the way, David's just joking around. That's not actually confirmed.
That is not confirmed. Yeah. No, but yeah, there's a female Seth in that game. You can literally put a Dimitrescu skin on that lady, right?
Just dress her up, basically. So is she some naked lady?
Yeah, she's like a naked lady
Yeah.
with a ball, like an eye, like a yin yang ball in her chest.
I could make a joke about adding her to Smash, but I'm not going to do that. To make a. Oh man.
But I mean, they should do their own mashup game. I mean, they don't need the Marvel license. They have enough characters to do a good fighting game.
Yeah, I always joke like I want to see a Capcom versus Capcom game. You know, they have enough characters. They just Capcom characters. You know, that's crazy. All right,
Capcom Fighter.
Capcom Fighter.
Do their own All Stars. How about that?
Capcom All Stars.
Yeah, Capcom All Stars. Yeah. Don't make any more games with All Stars in there because
no. But I mean,
only Sony. Sony can't do that.
But look, I mean, you have people have been wanting them to do a new Darkstalkers game. They haven't done a Project Justice game in forever. You have all those characters.
No. John Christ, no. Get rid of the hashtag, man. Never. He says hashtag Throwdown All Stars. Nope. Not happening. Not happening. That's a cursed subtitle, man.
Curse.
What's I gonna say? I totally forgot now. That thing fucked me up. Like, no, we're not doing the All Stars, man. Fuck that shit. You know. Let me see. EA bought Codemasters. Yeah, I heard about that. I saw, but like, I don't know who the fuck. Like, I don't care about Codemasters or whatever. You know.
Whoa.
I don't think I've played any of their games. You know. All right. Whoa. All right.
Codemasters. Whoa.
I thought you played Dirt 5.
Oh yeah, I did. That is Codemasters. Yeah, it was all right. Oh, you know what's gonna happen? Oh my God, Brian, you know what's gonna happen?
Oh yeah,
they're gonna get Codemasters to do another Need for Speed game. Watch.
Oh no, they are, and then in about like 15 years' time, Codemasters is not going to exist anymore.
Oh,
only 15, Brian. I think it might be faster than that. You know.
Well, Criterion is still here, so
that is true. You know, making Need for Speed games.
Well, Criterion is still somewhere.
Yeah, they're gonna make Codemasters do Need for Speed games now. Watch. Oh man. All right, let's move on to the final story of the night. This one's actually kind of cool. All right, so Remedy, you all know Remedy. They made Control. So last year, 2020, they didn't release a single title. Yet it was their best year ever. Financially, they made a lot of money. So, man, you have a theory about that. What's your theory, man? You got a theory on that?
I think it's because of the after the Game Awards, because they did win Game of the Year last year, didn't they?
2019, yes.
2019, they did.
Mm-hmm, yep.
I feel like that momentum had gotten them more attention from the. I mean, granted, I think the game did well initially, but I think definitely that winning that award sort of helped them all along, further on, get more people interested.
Oh yeah, for sure. And then the fact that the game actually, check this out. It came out on Steam, Xbox Game Pass, and cloud services, and an Ultimate Edition, of course. Mm-hmm. So that all helped.
And it's also been on sale quite a bit. Also, wasn't it? Mm-hmm. It's also a PlayStation Plus game of the month, right? Wasn't it?
Yep. But here's the thing. I'm reading this off IGN. So even though they didn't release a new game, they did release the Alan Wake DLC last year. That also helps as well.
Oh,
and
they also
we're
have
also forgetting the key factor here. Yeah, Manny, we're also forgetting the key factor. What about if the game's good? People talk good about it. Yeah,
and it's also one of the earlier showcases of ray tracing. They were talking about they did ray tracing stuff earlier on. So there you go.
But this is for the year ending last year. So all the stuff that the game did now, none of that. Whatever it sold this year doesn't affect it. But still pretty cool. Still pretty good stuff.
Good stuff.
I still need to play it. That's probably going to be my next game. I play. I have it. The PS5 version. Go back, get the platinum. I got to start from scratch though, unfortunately. But it's all right. I like the game. It's a really good game. I feel, even though I'm going to say something really silly right now, even though it's financially great and everything did well, I still feel it's underrated. I still don't think enough people talk about it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's
literally 3D Metroid.
That's so. I was like, dude, you give me 3D Metroid, I'm fucking there. You got me sold. I'll buy that for $1. All right, I think we're done here, people. So, May, do you need to plug anything, sir?
Yes, I do. Tomorrow at 10 a.m. Pacific time, I and the rest of the Excellence comic team are going to be doing the Skybound digital convention. We're going to be talking about Excellence and working on it over time, and also we're going to be launching our new Kickstarter, which was for the Ultimate Omnibus of Excellence, which is going to be cool. So we got all kinds of really cool stuff in that. We'll all talk about all that stuff tomorrow. So yeah, if you're a fan of the book, or if you want to see me and the guys talking comics and stuff, come check us out on Skybound, the Skybound's website, or you can look on their Twitter. They'll usually have like a nice little link there for everybody to watch. So, and we'll be live.
Good stuff.
Also, the other stuff. Oh yeah, Excellence number 10 just came out yesterday, and before that was Future State. Immortal Wonder Woman, Future State, Immortal Wonder Woman number 2. That's a mouthful.
Hey.
And so that we do a double feature on that book, which is the first part of it is I think of them. I can't remember the first team, but me and Aletha Martinez and Mark Morales and LL McKinley do the Nubia section of the book, which is really getting a lot of nice attention online. So yeah. So lots of stuff coming from me, and also, stay tuned for some more Throwdown draws. If you look next to me, I'm holding the clue of what it is. It's Raziel. I'm still working on that commission for a friend of mine who commissioned me last year, and I've had a little bit more time. So, I'll let you know when I'm going to go be doing that. Maybe probably during the weekend, maybe sometime next week.
Nice. By the way, real quick before we end, David wants to know if any of us are playing the Guilty Gear Strive beta that's going on right now.
I'll wait for the game.
You wait for the game? I'm kind of doing. I played the last beta. It was cool, but I want to wait for the finished game.
Yeah, I like the stuff they did on the last one, and I have Grand Blue Fantasy. Played through that, so yeah, can't wait.
Be good stuff. All right, people, that's going to do it for us. So make sure you follow us on Twitch and Twitter. Subscribe on YouTube and join our Discord where Mob Hits will always hit you with those ill rumors, man. You can find us on a podcast app by searching for Throwdown Show. And if you're watching this on YouTube the day after we record on Twitch, and if you liked it, make sure you hit like, subscribe, and hit the little bell, and we'll keep you updated with more good stuff. You can visit throwdownshow.com to listen to past episodes and links to everything down below. Once again, our show is Tony Polanco, and tonight I was joined by Emilio Lopez.
See you later, guys.
Chris Seeley.
Hey, take care, everyone.
Carlos Romero.
Later, people.
And Brian Manjoma.
And yes, paying $60 or $70 for damn HD or remaster is ludicrous.
Oh yeah, we didn't talk about that.
We didn't talk about that. Yeah, Skyward Sword, Nintendo tax, bruh. Nintendo tax.
Man.
All right, guys, we'll see you on Sunday. Later.
Later.
Yes.